welcome and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Erica Bivens filling in for Sandra Gumansing. Topping this newscast, law enforcement officials testified before senators Tuesday for Part 3 of a fact-finding hearing called by the Committee on Public Safety, Homeland Security and Justice. While most agencies testified about their challenges, the cries from the Bureau of Corrections were the loudest. News 2's Erica Parsons was there and has more.
Safety, security, staff shortages, a lack of equipment, and low pay were only a few of the challenges presented to senators from this 18-page testimony read by one of the territory's Bureau of Corrections officers. And one by one, other officers testified about the working conditions that have them crying out for help. Law enforcement officers and other first responders sat shoulder to shoulder in solidarity as they listened to the impassioned and sometimes emotional testimony from fellow officers. Sergeant Linford Warner to the Bureau's director.
I accuse you of stopping soldiers in the prison so we can lose control of the security of the institution. I accuse you of turning a blind eye to the drugs and knives coming into prison.
Corrections officers told senators they are some of the lowest paid workers in law enforcement, and they haven't had a raise since their last negotiated contract in 2001. Because of that, they said there is low morale and distrust of management.
This agency plays a crucial part in this community. We do a job few wish or can do with less funding and equipment and respect with agencies that we share peace officer status with. And still, we succeed in our basic function in keeping the community safe. We are in dire need of leadership. We are in dire need of direction. We are in dire need of assistance and implementation of professional standards that a paramilitary organization should have.
Corrections officers provided solutions to every problem they outlined, included much-needed technology upgrades, but one issue they won't soon see a fix for is the raises negotiated 4 years ago.
Given the number of expired contracts, the adverse economic conditions, and the projected government deficit for 2014, it is not likely that there will be any negotiated wage increases for the foreseeable future.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
Officials from the EMS, Fire, VIPD, and Health were also present, along with representatives from the various labor unions. While following a large-scale transfer of prisoners, an unexplained escape and recapture, and suspension of the warden at the Golden Grove Adult Correctional Facility on St. Croix, Bureau of Corrections Director Julius Wilson released this statement Monday.
I did suspend him on Friday of this past week as a result of personnel issues and was planning to hold a hearing next week to resolve the concerns. However, on further review of my decision, I have today asked Mr. Richards to return to duty immediately to his position of warden, which he has done. At no time did I make a recommendation to the governor that the warden Richards' employment be terminated. Our entire staff remains committed to provide a safe environment for our staff inmate population. We have concerns over the recent escape, and we're working through those as well.
Well, police are investigating a non-fatal shooting that injured a male minor who was in the entrance of Fort Christian. According to police reports, the 16-year-old victim said after he left Carnival Village, he went to the entrance of the fort and sat on the steps. He heard gunshots, and while sitting, he then started to run. He later realized he was shot. Officers received a call around 1:20 a.m. early Tuesday morning about shots being fired near Emancipation Garden and that the victim was taken to the Schneider Regional Medical Center for treatment. Police say they continue to be on heightened alert through the rest of Carnival. Well, following the shooting death of 22-year-old Troy Joseph on UVI's St. Croix campus Friday evening, President Dr. David Hall released a statement calling on the Virgin Islands community to work harder to prevent violence. He stated, "The university is saddened and disturbed by the senseless killing and robbery of Troy Joseph. Though Troy was not a UVI student, his death is a tremendous loss for all of us." Dr. Hall extended his condolences and promised to provide information to the police. Well, police are investigating the non-fatal stabbing of a male victim on St. Thomas. According to medical staff, the victim was stabbed by a sharp object in the left side of his neck. Police say the victim was uncooperative and refused to provide any information. Medical personnel say the victim later checked himself out of the hospital. Well, police on St. Thomas are also investigating a first-degree robbery that occurred at Seven Wonders Jewelry Store that happened Saturday morning.
At least 2 employees, the manager, and several customers were in the store Witnesses said 3 masked men, 2 with handguns, came into the store and ordered everyone to the ground. The suspects broke glass cases, removed jewelry, and placed them into a bag. One suspect demanded money from the handbag of one female customer. The victim gave the suspect about $80 in cash. The suspects then left the store on foot, running toward Back Street. The witnesses told police that the suspects were dressed in black shirts, black pants, and they could not give any further descriptions.
On Tuesday, Governor John P. DeYoung Jr. was on St. Croix touring the Christiansted Boardwalk with public works officials to ensure safety and improve infrastructure. DeYoung says improvements will be seen in just 3 weeks.
The first phase of it has to do with the lighting, and the lighting is going to be started to be put in very shortly, and that'll be like a 3-week to 4-week process. To get the illumination that is necessary, we're having 50 locations along the boardwalk that will put it in to be able to illuminate much better, to ensure the sort of safety that's required so people can feel safe downtown. Then we're going to start doing the renovation, the reconstruction work of the boardwalk itself. A new material will be utilized here, and this is all part of the various work that we're doing in downtown Christiansted.
Governor DeYoung has proclaimed April as Child Abuse and Sexual Assault Awareness Month. According to the American Medical Association, a woman is raped every 46 seconds in the U.S., although children and men are potential victims as well. DeYoung says it's important to hold perpetrators responsible. He also recognized rape prevention and education efforts underway in the community and encourages everyone to wear jeans on Wednesday, tomorrow, April 24th, to communicate the message that there is no excuse for and never an invitation to rape or sexually assault anyone. Well, in an effort to give assistance to Virgin Islanders struggling to pay their electricity bills, Governor DeYoung has requested the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services consider another $1 million in low-income home energy assistance program funding for fiscal years 2013 to 2015 to deal with the territory's energy emergency. DeYoung's letter stated, "Our costs are 5 times the stateside average. Although the territory is converting to liquefied natural gas and other fuel sources that should reduce energy costs by more than 30%, that solution is still more than 2 years away." Well, this past weekend, dozens of volunteers on St. Croix made their way to Frederiksted to take part in the first ever Tan Tours Takes on the Trash cleanup event, spearheaded by St. Croix resident Ruth Blyther. With help from Tan Tours and the Nature Conservancy, the event focused on picking up trash and raising the community's awareness on how that trash could harm our environment and coral reefs. But with a fun twist, volunteers had the chance to compete for prizes on who could pick up the most trash.
We really wanted to raise awareness about the litter and trash on our island. And then, of course, we wanted to remove some of that trash from our island. And then we wanted to have fun. We were like, let's go to the dirtiest beach. And you could see people, they were jumping out of the Jeeps and racing to kind of claim their spot, you know, their area of the most trash. And it was really something. Everybody was really excited and helpful.
On Friday, the Virgin Islands National Guard will be sending its Soldier of the Year and Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year to compete in the National Guard Bureau's Region 3 Best Warrior Competition in South Carolina. Both Staff Sergeant Roshan Moraine, NCO of the Year, and Specialist Garfield Fernandez, Soldier of the Year, will compete in a 6-day competition against soldiers from other states and territories in the region. If successful, they'll go on to compete at the Army National Guard Best Warrior Competition. We wish them luck. Meanwhile, Diageo USVI is in the running for the 2013 Freedom Award. They've been selected as a semifinalist for the 2013 Secretary of Defense Employer Support Freedom Award. It's the Department of Defense's highest honor for employers that provide extraordinary support to the Guard and Reserve employees. This year, 138 semifinalists stood out of some 3,000 employers. ESGR will announce the 2013 Freedom Award finalists next month. Well, Kenneth Herman Jr., Division of Personnel Director, has announced the names of the retiree candidates vying for a seat of the Government Employees Service Commission, or GESC, Group Health Insurance Board. By district, they are Glenn J. Smith and Lori D. Anderson for St. Thomas. For St. Croix, Adelbert Bryan, Winona Hendricks, and Deborah Ann Christopher are on the list. According to Act 7458, one retiree from each district can serve on the GESC Health Insurance Board. The 2 members will be elected by other government retirees. The elections will be held Tuesday, May 14th. Details on the voting process will be given at a later time. Hovensa dropped the price of wholesale gas again this week, although the price for diesel fuel remained in place. On Monday, Hovensa's rack rates went down by 2 cents per gallon for regular gas and 1 cent per gallon for premium. That means gas station owners will pay $3.18 per gallon for regular and $3.53 per gallon for premium gas when buying from Hovensa's truck loading station. The cost for diesel fuel is still $3.68 for gas station owners buying from Hovensa. Turning our attention stateside, senators are holding their 3rd hearing on immigration reform in Washington today. The legislation they're considering would create a path to citizenship for the 11 million people here illegally. The issue was already controversial, but now the recent Boston bombings are becoming part of the debate. Daniel Nottingham reports from Capitol Hill.
Secretary of Homeland Security Janet Napolitano told a Senate panel she supports a new bipartisan immigration reform bill. She believes the provision to identify 11 million immigrants currently in the country illegally will help improve security.
Knowing who they are is critical to public safety. Indeed, as we just saw in Boston, information from our legal immigration system often supports response and investigation.
The 2 brothers accused in the Boston bombings were both legal immigrants to the U.S. The bombings have prompted some lawmakers to question immigration reform. They argue the attacks show the need to address national security in the immigration system. Senator Rand Paul says the current reform bill should be halted. Senator Chuck Grassley is calling for caution.
It's important for us to understand the gaps and loopholes in our immigration system.
Senator Chuck Schumer, who helped design the current bill, took exception at Monday's hearing.
Those who are pointing to what happened, the terrible tragedy in Boston, as I would say, excuse for not doing a bill or delaying it.
Grassley shot back.
Never said that.
I didn't say you did.
Never said that.
I didn't say you did, sir.
National security is just the latest controversy in immigration reform. Several lawmakers already oppose the bill because it gives illegal immigrants a path to citizenship. On Capitol Hill, Danielle Nottingham, CBS 2 News.
Keeping our eye on the economy, stocks are rallying after a new round of better-than-expected earnings from Lockheed Martin, Travelers, and Coach. Apple will report its earnings after the closing bell. U.S. Airways says quarterly profits beat estimates as the airline carried more passengers and collected more fees from them. U.S. Airways is in the process of merging with bankrupt American Airlines to form the world's biggest airline. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. Everything up: Dow 152, NASDAQ 35, S&P 16. Coming up on News 2, some early closings and changes in hours you need to be aware of for Carnival, plus the newly crowned Miss UVI, a mathematics and biology major. Details coming up next. Almost 70 children from the ages of 3 to 11 took part Saturday morning in Kids Cooking as part of the St. Croix Food and Wine Experience. Kids paired healthy cooking with fun. The children were given fresh ingredients and step-by-step instructions from famous local chefs Clinthina and Crucian Contessa. The cooking lessons gave the children a chance to prepare fresh, delicious meals made from local produce. On the menu were Johnny Cakes, steamed buttercorn on the cob, hibiscus Kool-Aid, and coconut drops. Innovative provided the aprons and the other gifts. JJ the Clown also made an appearance, painting faces and playing games. Innovative is the parent company of CBS TV2. On Sunday, UVI crowned their 33rd ambassadorial queen. 20-year-old Mertricia Charles took the title of Miss University of the Virgin Islands 2013-2014 from a field of 3 during the competition held at a St. Croix's Educational Complex. Charles also won Most Intellectual Speaker, Best Performing Talent, and Miss Congeniality. Denicia Suarez took the first runner-up spot, while Estrella Obando was named second runner-up. Charles will represent the university as a Goodwill Ambassador. She's a junior majoring in mathematics and computational biology. As Miss UVI, she'll have 1 full year of tuition, including room and board paid for. Students from Country Day School have adopted the VIPD's K-9 unit. The forensics class gave a presentation Friday on the history of police dogs. Before the K-9 unit themselves took over with several demonstrations to help the unit, Country Day's Honor Society will be raffling a round-trip ticket for 2 to Puerto Rico for 2 nights for $5 a chance. The drawing is May 19th at VIPD's golf tournament. Tickets are available at the school.
So I'm from the National Honor Society at Country Day School, and this year we are having a fundraiser, and we're choosing the VIPD K-9 unit as our recipient.
NHS decided to help along with this to help support and pay for the training and the cost of having the K-9 dogs.
The Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority customer service has some new Carnival hours this week. On Wednesday, the St. Thomas office is open from 7:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. St. John is open 8 a.m. to noon, and St. Croix is open 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. On Thursday, April 25th, the St. Thomas and St. John offices are closed. St. Croix will be open 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Then Friday, April 26th, all offices territory-wide are closed. Regular hours will resume Monday. Well, Vitran has a change in St. Thomas bus route due to the Carnival Village. Public Works Commissioner Daryl Smalls says there will be no fixed route bus service to the hospital ground and Upper Polyberg Hill areas. The buses will travel east on Veterans Drive to Williams Lewis Drive and resume the regular route at Alton Adams Senior Drive. Persons in these areas are encouraged to use the nearest bus stop until Hospital Gata is reopened to vehicular traffic May 6th. For more information, you can call the Vitran bus terminal. That number is 774-5678. Now here's a look at Carnival events that are coming up. Going on right now is the Preteen Tramp. That kicked off at 6 p.m. from Rothschild Francis Market Square to the Village. Later on, it's the Seniors Quilbe Tramp at 8 p.m. On Wednesday, Anne's Savory Delights will be the spot to be for the Cultural Food Fair honoring Anne Marine Henry. That begins at 8 a.m. at Emancipation Garden. Then it's time for Juve, kicking off at 4 a.m. Thursday morning along Veterans Drive. Friday, the Children's Parade is scheduled to begin at 10 a.m. starting from Market Square. Saturday, the Adults Day Parade begins at Western Cemetery, also at 10 a.m. And don't forget, News2 will be streaming both the Children's and Adults Day parades Friday and Saturday. That's April 26th and the 27th. The website is up on your screen. We've also posted a link on our Facebook page. CBS TV2 will also be airing the parades live. Stick around, your News2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.